Alrighty, hello. Welcome. It is Rowan. Where are we? Here we are. It's Rowan. It's Berserkaroo. It's good to see you. Good to see you all back again. What are we doing? We have the SVX, and it's not looking healthy. Well, it's not sounding healthy. It's looking good. Most likely done a bottom end bearing on one of the rods by the sound of it. So we're going to pull this engine out. Let's see if I'll show you where we're up to. Stick a bit of light up there. So we're up to the stage where you get to find out the things that you've forgotten to disconnect. But pretty much my engine's quite simple to pull out because I've taken off most bits and pieces that you don't need, and you can see that, you know, it's already starting to split there at the gearbox. Now I'm running the manual in mine. I've got the dual range 5-speed. You can see here's where it actuates the high and low range. So I've got the 10-speed manual gearbox, but a fair bit of custom stuff, fair bit of stuff deleted, and I'm not very happy that I managed to destroy this engine, but at the same time it is 32 years old and has never really had, never been opened at all, and it doesn't leak anywhere, so it's quite good. It's just started to seep. I don't know if it's here around the oil filler. So yeah, fun part was taking the fuel hose off the filter. Still had pressure and got me in the eye and face. That was a lot of fun. We've taken the engine mounts out of the cross member. I've taken the exhaust off. Underneath there, we've got the Kine exhausts from Russia. Shout out to that guy. Makes some really good bits. Got the Monty Rory aluminium radiator, which we've taken out. We've got the eBay special pulleys. And yeah, you can see we've got no iris valve under there to split the two halves of the intake. We've just got a single plane intake. We've got no exhaust gas for circulation. It's not really much pollution business happening under there. Get rid of as many of those fragile parts as possible. So let's see what we've forgotten to disconnect. As we'll try and pull this out. I didn't really show. I probably should have shown you what we're using. Using my old faithful, my most favouriteest thing that's pulled out many an engine. It's just a tiny little, call it a come along or a lever block, and this is a 250 kilo. I'm sure you're gonna be able to read that, but made by the brand Beaver. And it's good. The only thing, because this is square, it's kind of sharp. But yeah, it's been a beast. It's, I guess, maybe a long drop even. Chain's quite long. So just droop it or drape it over the top. Let's get you set up there. And let's see what we can break. Now, I was cranking tunes. And the other trick is, I guess, trying to get it balanced front to back. I just put a sling around the crank and around the throttle body, which don't know if I'd recommend that to everybody, but I've done it a few times and it's been alright. Make sure you don't get on your throttle position sensor, because you all know how impossible they are to find. So yeah, it's only a 250 kilo come along. However, once before when I wasn't paying attention on my GF8, look out, I let the car down and all the way down, and I was looking under there and I was like, that jack is all the way down. How come my wheels aren't touching the ground? And it was because the engine was still hanging off the chain block. So, did manage to hang like, I don't know, 1,000 kilos off it or something. We also got the jack underneath, lifting the gearbox up. But I reckon I got it up too high possibly. There's like the engine is leaning over. Also my chain block's on a silly angle. So ideally I'd probably want to roll the car forward. Let's see how we go. It can't be too stuck. There we are. Alright, now it's a matter of coming up without catching on anything else. Just check. It's all clear. A bit of fuel hose flapping around there. Tuck that in. Side it all looks sweet, so once you do it enough times, start remembering all the things that tripped you up last time and the time before that, and you double, triple check. Honestly, haven't had this engine in for very long. Had it out obviously to do the manual gearbox, aka transmission. Only thing with the chain block is keeping twists out of the chain, but like that swivels there, just so that it goes into the chain block nicely. It's actually quite twisted there, so that's better. The other trick is making sure you make everything short enough, you've got enough height to where it'll go over the actual radiator support. Just throw that up out of the way. Doesn't scratch all my stuff. And that's actually high enough. Alright, so there you go. All I've got to do now, roll the car out of the way. Let the gearbox back down. Now it is uphill to roll the car away, so I'll give it a bit of a go. And if it don't work, then I'll just tow it out of the way with another car. Alright. Just to roll forwards. Got any wheel chocks over here? Watching if your bonnet doesn't, or your hood doesn't scratch all up the ceiling. Making sure you've got somewhere good to grab it. Alright, there you go. Sweet. And that there is one Subaru SVX 6-cylinder EG33. Bit of a, well, it is a unique engine from Subaru. Very similar in build to the EJ22 from the early late 80s really. These sort of came out in 89. First sort of sold in about 92. But, yeah, what's happening there? Check that out when we get the clutch off. But, difference between this and the EJ22. EJ22 is a single cam usually. On the non-turbo. The turbo is twin cam or quad. So here's an EJ22, that's single cam, single cam shaft, single cam pulley. The twin cam, I don't know, we're not going to be able to see, that one actually has covers on. Quad cam. But they got two pulleys. Well, this has quad cam, so it is twin cam each side here. There's two. There's only one pulley at the front. And this is something I didn't realise about the SVX for quite a while. And they're actually meshed right here with gears. The two cams have counter-rotating gears right inside that part there on both heads. So that's pretty cool. They only run the one timing pulley, but still run two camshafts. It's all four, you know how it is. Boxer motor. Got the fuel lines there with the stainless braided hoses and made up the adapters for that. Got the wire and loom there, somewhat modified a little bit, not very much. Could definitely go for a full custom loom. It's starting to get a little crusty at 32 years old this year. This is a 92 model. So you'll be able to see there, it is a 6th 92. And it's now the 5th of 2024, so it's done pretty well to be unopened for 32 years. And yeah, not leaking. It's starting to get a little bit of weeps here and there. Hopefully going to be able to buy a new water pump. Want to get the OEM style with the cast impeller, but parts for the SVX, as SVX people that are watching do know, are NLA, no longer available. Also, the idle air controller is a pain in the ass. It's up in under there. That somewhat blue painted unit on mine this year. So I don't run any hot water through throttle body or anything like that. But I can actually get through here with a long 1/4 inch set and sort of adjust that. I can do my NOx sensors in about 3 minutes flat for both of them. They run two NOx sensors. Most EJs run just the single. And then, yeah, you got your throttle position sensor right there, and that is a bastard. Has to be set nicely. See if I can open up my throttle body and show you what I did to it. I did what's known as knife edging. Normally they're just round. The rod that runs through that and the edge of the discs are just sort of flat, but I get in there and you can see I've shaved it all down, made it all schmicko, sharpened the edge of the actual butterfly plates, and that's what's known as knife edge. And you can see inside there, hopefully looks nice and clean because I'm not running exhaust pus into there. So I'm going to try to leave probably the intake mostly together. You can split it off here at the top or sort of a little bit lower down there off the actual heads. Probably have to take a bit of stuff, and yeah, this one's the brake booster suction hose. Got breathers, just sort of vent to atmosphere currently, but we'll deal with that. Got your water temperature gauges here, all for the gauge and for the computer. And that's mostly it. Also, the coil packs. Coil packs are pretty hard to get for these. They like to break off sort of right where it goes into the, you call that potting? Basically, the wiring gets hard after a while. It's only copper. So that's it. The alternator is unique to this car, so there's all the alternator pulleys. Timing pulleys themselves are pretty much the same as the EJ. This one always shits itself, and I specifically bought the NSK Japanese one. Although that there seems to say GMB. That's a cheap one. What the hell? This one's NSK. Well, that's why it's already shitting itself. So I guess this one's different to an EJ. Like, they got two of these cog pulleys that like to shit out. I got the last in the world brand new OEM tensioner, cost quite a few bucks. And I got the second last in known existence Subaru SVX EG33 master gasket kit. So it's got every gasket for the engine, and I've been hoarding that for a few years. I got that out of America. Thank you to Jamie the Subigal in Washington State, hooking me up for finding that. We've got two knock sensors as well on the SVX. Interesting little fun fact. Cam angle sensor just there on the side. It's got its own little like bracket, which I'm missing a bolt for. Anyway, there you go. That is it. Also, they like to blow the dipstick out, so I make this here thingo. Let's see if we got any glitter on the dipstick. Oh. Let's look. Is it going to focus on that? See some bearing on there. Tiny bit. A few sparkles. And yeah, I'll try and also replace all the hose with silicone where possible. Alright, that is it. We got the colour change paint too. I know you've seen this before. Different videos. Goes from blue all the way through to sort of red, orange. And that was it. Hopefully you learned a little bit. Hopefully it wasn't the most boring video on the entire YouTube. Bye-bye. Do you want to see how to do the manual while we're here in Australia on the right-hand drive? The hole is where the wiring originally came out. So you have to drill an 80mm hole, move your wiring loom over. Then I made a stainless steel plate and used that there master cylinder, and I just cut it down shorter. I probably cut it a fair bit too short, but it's still perfectly fine. Power steering hose, just make it out of braid as well. And yeah, life's good in the hood. Berserkeroo, goodbye.